The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
How you doing? I'm open.
Oh, look, he's flying!
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm John and this is Matt. And today we're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite comedies and their Blu-rays or 4K Blu-rays if available. But before we dive into that, if you're into 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, tech reviews, video game reviews, TV reviews, you know, all those reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you turn notifications on. So me and Matt are big comedy fans, and the way we're going to do this is Matt picks 5 Blu-rays, I picked 5 Blu-rays, all comedies.
I also wanted to add, out of all the videos that we've done so far about about this little series we're doing, this might have been the hardest for me, at least, because I had to stack about 15 comedy movies. And I was like, John, can we do more than 5? Because I can't pick. It was very, very hard.
Oh, yeah.
So our honorable mention pile graduated from 1 to, I think, like 6.
Yeah, we have a joint honorable mentions pile because it's like Matt said, it's really hard, and we didn't want to double up and have too much because, honestly, we could probably do a top 10 Jim Carrey and Will Ferrell movie, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it would be... they overlap a lot, so we kind of pick and chose, so...
Yeah, me and Matt have very similar taste in comedy. That's probably where our biggest overlap is. So, you know, we had to trade off where Matt got one and I wanted one. As you guys know, the rules are simple. We go by the film quality, box art, and the disc quality. But I think this one's definitely weighed more towards how funny the movie was. But, you know, without further ado, let's just dive right into our list. Matt, what's your number 5?
So, number 5, I had to go with Bad Santa. And this is the Badder Santa Director's Cut version. I watch this every single year for Christmas, and I think I used to watch this in the summertime at my buddy Glenn's house when we were kids. When this first came out, I've seen this movie 100 times, and it still never gets old. I still have to watch it every year. It is so hysterical. Billy Bob Thornton, this movie is just so hysterical. The kid that he ends up babysitting or living with, or
basically mooching off his family because his dad's
whatever
in jail.
You want to call it. It's just a crazy situation, and this is a must-see for any fan of comedy and any fan of Christmas. I mean, it is 100% a Christmas movie.
It's also John Ritter's last performance, and he's pretty funny in this movie, and you know, also the late Bertie Mac.
Which one was John Ritter?
John Ritter is the guy who hires him with the glasses.
Oh, okay, the store manager.
Yeah, from Three's Company. That's John Ritter.
And yeah, when he said, and then Bernie Mac's cursing in front of him, fuck stick, and he goes, ooh, he doesn't like the curse words. You're not gonna SHIT right for a week. But yeah, this movie is hysterical. This is an absolute must see, and check it out if you haven't. It's amazing. And again, this is the Badder Director's Cut. It's got 2 versions on here. It's just your basic run-of-the-mill, old-style Blu-ray, but picture quality's still great.
Oh, yeah. And I had a sequel a few years ago that it's alright.
It's okay, but nothing touches the first.
No, and that's just always how comedies
I have
are.
the second one, but that's not making my cut.
No. It's just a run-of-the-mill comedy sequel. But let's dive into my number 5, which is Beverly Hills Cop. I had to pick an Eddie Murphy movie because Eddie Murphy ruled the 80s, and... you know, it was either this or Coming to America, but I had to go with my favorite, and that's Beverly Hills Cop. But this is the story of Axel Foley, who has to go to Beverly Hills to investigate the murder of one of his buddies, and it's just so many great jokes in this. This is the kind of comedy I really enjoy, and Martin Brest did a great job with this film, and he didn't direct the sequel, Tony Scott did, but the original's still way better, and one of my favorite jokes in this movie is when they throw him out a window, and then he gets arrested. What the fuck? He's like all still shocked because he just got thrown through a window and they pick him up and arrest him. But Beverly Hills Cop is one of the classic 80s movies, you know, this is where you get the classic line, the banana in the tailpipe. So it all came from this, and Beverly Hills Cop's awesome. I can't really say too much about it. If you haven't checked this one out, it's one of the classics of the 80s.
So my number 4, I'm playing fast and loose with the rules here, and I couldn't pick which one. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say the original, but Rush Hour. I absolutely love this trilogy of movies. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan are the perfect fucking duo. They are hysterical. And these movies are so amazing. If you've never seen Rush Hour, run out and go see it. Rush out and go see it, because these movies are... Chris Tucker in his prime in these movies.
Yeah.
And it's just... every word that comes out of Chris Tucker's mouth is hysterical, and Jackie Chan plays off, I'm so great. And then it's actually a great movie, because obviously Jackie Chan, all the martial arts, and he's a stuntman, and it's a really good movie, and then it's just a comedy on top of that.
And I love the box art.
This is only this is usually like $15 at Best Buy, and the picture quality is great. These are really good Blu-rays, and it's all 3 of them, and there's a ton of bonus features in here too. There's a bonus disc for the original Rush Hour 3, and Rush Hour 2, yeah. There's a bonus disc with all 3 movies, plus the movie. So you got 6 discs in this really nice slip cover for $15, Best Buy. This is a must-have for any fan of comedy, again. But yeah. Rush Hour, great movies.
I agree. Well, let's move on to my number 4, which is actually another Martin Brest movie, the same guy who directed Beverly Hills Cop, and I prefer this one to it, and that's Midnight Run. That stars Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin, and this movie's actually very kind of special to me because I saw this movie when I was like 5 or 6 years old. My grandmother was watching it on TV, and I saw the one scene where Charles Grodin was afraid to fly. So I actually thought that this movie was a drama. I felt bad for the guy as a kid, like, oh, why are they making him fly on a plane? Then when you get older, you realize he's completely faking it, and he's just doing it so that Robert De Niro has to drag him across the entire country handcuffed to him. And it's just a really funny movie. It's hysterical. This is when Robert De Niro finally transitioned to comedy. This, I believe, was one of his first straight comedy movies, and he nailed it. Obviously, he would dive back into it with, the Meet the Parents movies in the late 90s, but this is when he really shined in comedy, and we all knew that he could do it. And I really love this movie, and I bought this Blu-ray in 2017, and it's a really good Blu-ray, honestly. I just watched it again. I watch it every year, and it's very high quality. It's nothing really, great in here. It's just pretty much just standard Blu-ray packaging, a couple little extras on there.
I like how they have is that a Shout Select? It is a Shout Select.
It is a Shout Select, yeah.
That's why it's got the inside, it's got the reversible cover.
Yeah, and actually the disc is actually beautiful. Look at the color range, which it doesn't really fit with the tone of the movie at all because it makes it look like an action movie, and there is a great action sequence in there, but this is not an action movie. This is a comedy. And a really good one at that. So definitely check this one out.
Alright, so my number 3, we're diving into one of Will Ferrell's movies, and this is The Other Guys. Now, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, oh my god, what a team. You talk about Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. I mean, this duo right there, they're close, maybe better, because just the ones...
This movie I quote all the time.
Oh my god.
This and my number 1 are my 2 most quoted movies ever.
Almost every scene is hysterical. This was there was a golden era when Will Ferrell was around for comedies. Like every movie Will Ferrell did was a hit. Old School, The Other Guys, Step Up, just knocking them out of the park. And Will Ferrell is just, he's amazing in this movie. We could quote this all day.
I know. When was your last Death Pop, Matt?
September 08.
Wait, that's not a real thing? They were so convincing with their arguments, which actually Michael Keaton is great in this movie too. As Captain Gene. Yeah. It's just Gene. It's not Captain Gene. I don't have a kids talk show.
America!
Did you just scream America? I am slightly. I've never done that.
At the crime scene, LOL. Good tweet. But yeah, this is an amazing movie, and it's at the time where the digital when they were filming with high-end equipment and stuff, so it's not old. It's a great Blu-ray. I don't think there is a 4K.
No, there is. Comedies, actually, that's one thing I had a hard time with, is comedies don't really get 4K upgrades, and it's very hard to justify it.
Yeah, it's hard. They don't need it, especially the Blu-ray is more than enough for this movie.
Yeah.
And
because we're not talking about action-packed scenes where you want to see those explosions pop and the sound pop. It's
there is explosions in this.
That there is. There's definitely a few in there.
This falls into that action comedy where
a little more on the comedy though,
Well, there's some they're cops. So.
Yeah, they are, but one's an accountant.
Yeah. But yeah,
what's up with these guys in our shoes?
Yeah. This movie's on Netflix, and the Blu-ray is probably less than $10.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a must-see if you have not seen it yet.
All right, and let's dive into my number 3, which is actually my favorite Bill Murray comedy of all time, and that's Groundhog Day. Yeah, most people would probably pick Ghostbusters, but this is a Bill Murray movie through and through, directed by Harold Ramis. This is the last movie Harold Ramis and Bill Murray ever did together. They didn't speak again until Harold Ramis died, until right before. And this is the movie that tore them apart. But thank God they made it, because I fucking love this movie. It's hysterical. This is where the Groundhog Day formula comes from. You know, the guy repeating the same day over and over again. It just happens to be Groundhog Day. And this is a movie also, just some of the great laughs in here. Repeating the same day, he learns how to, you know, rob banks and do everything. Learns how to play the piano, ice sculpt. You know, I love it. And Andie MacDowell's a great love interest. I'm not a big Andie MacDowell fan, and it was really funny. She was really funny in this movie. She's the perfect person to play off of Bill Murray. You really care about the relationship. And if you haven't checked out Groundhog Day, please do. This does have a 4K, but I couldn't justify upgrading it because the Blu-ray is actually very good. And I can't see a reason for upgrading it. Now, I haven't tried. As you can see, you get Phil Connor's beautiful face on the inside, too.
Bill Murray.
Well, Phil Connors is his character.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that movie.
Which is incredible, too.
I've seen it, but it's been a long time.
No, I don't ever make it through February without watching Groundhog Day. But yeah, like if you can pick up the Blu-ray, it's usually very cheap, but the 4K is pretty cheap too. I just can't justify upgrading because it's a very early 4K, and that means usually those kind of just transfers of this Blu-ray disc. It's not a new scan or nothing like that, so you can grab the Blu-ray.
Alright, number 2. Back to my man Will Ferrell. Step Brothers. Now, this just makes it past the other guys. And I think this came out before the other guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, oh my god, this movie... Again, this is another movie that you can quote all day, every day. And I remember I was working at Hollywood... No, not Hollywood Video. Game Crazy, inside of Hollywood Video at the time, when this movie came out. And I remember pre-ordering this at that Hollywood Video. But they would play the trailers of upcoming movies to rent on the TVs in Hollywood Video. So I'm over on my side at Game Crazy, and you would just hear the stuff all the time. And then the guys I worked with, they loved this movie, so we would quote this movie across the store. There's customers who cares. We're quoting Step Brothers all day, having a great time, and this movie is just out of control, hysterical.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, Step Brothers. The only reason I would only pick, because Adam McKay, John C. Reilly, and Will Ferrell did another movie, Talladega Nights.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Which I prefer over Step Brothers, only because of, I don't really like the Catalina wine mixer scene at the end.
Yeah, the Catalina wine mixer slows it down a bit.
Other than, you know, the dad talking about being a T-Rex.
Yeah. But this movie is...
Oh, this is highly quotable, too.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup. Favorite non-pornographic magazines and masturbate.
Good housekeeping. Yeah, this is a big summer of 08 movie. This and The Dark Knight were my two movies I was looking forward to most, and Step Brothers did not let me down.
Oh yeah, this is one of my first Blu-ray. Remember when the Blu-ray, they actually put money into the cases? They had...
Yeah, the like lifted Blu-ray logo?
Yeah, this was one of my early Blu-rays.
Well, yeah, it's 2008. Blu-ray kind of was just... What did HD, DVD, and Blu-ray start in 07, the year before?
No... Maybe 06 when the PS3 came out?
Maybe. Yeah, well, it would have had a Blu-ray player in it. But yeah, still very early on. They, you know, DVDs would just transform into Blu-ray.
Yep.
So, that's a pretty old one.
This might even have the DVD in it. Oh no, special features disc.
I like the inside. This one's got a nice inside, too.
Yeah, it does. It's got... them jumping in the pool.
Alright, well, you know what? That leads right perfectly into my to my number 2, and that is Anchorman. Now this is
Will Ferrell movies here, but hey,
yeah,
he deserves it.
I mean, that's like our age group, though. He started in the early 2000s, ran until the end of like 2010. That was his big run, and like that's
Old school.
Yeah, that was us in middle school and high school.
Yeah, Talladega Nights.
So for us, this was big, and I saw Anchorman in theaters when it first came out.
Oh yeah,
and I love this movie since that day. Everyone's great. It's not just Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd.
You know what's really funny? I did not like Anchorman the first time I seen it.
Me neither. When I saw it in theaters, I was like disappointed.
It took me a couple times, and then you know what really broke me? When he's playing the flute.
Really?
And he's under the bathroom stall playing the flute, and then just watching it later, and then he's got the boner. I'm gonna go walk this one off.
It's the pants. They're pleated. Don't act like you're not impressed.
Yeah, now it's fucking hysterical. But
Sex Panther.
Yeah.
60% of the time, it works every time. That doesn't make sense.
I stabbed a man. I stabbed a man with a trident.
That's right. Bill killed a man. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You might want to lay low or, you know, stay with some family because you probably wanted for murder.
Yeah, that again. Any Will Ferrell movie from the early mid 2000s or even late 2000s, just hysterical. Will Ferrell is a god.
And another one without a 4K release. So this is really bare bones. It's even got the recycle logo in this. You know, they were saving on,
saving on plastic.
Yeah, and it's even, look at the disc is just gray. Like, this is really a bare, and it's a shame because this is one of the most popular comedies of all time.
Yeah.
But this is pretty bare bones, I'm going to be completely honest. It's not the greatest of Blu-rays. This strictly got number 2 on its quality of film alone. And believe me, this is a quality comedy.
Oh, yeah.
So, we have a lot of honorable mentions to talk about, so let's dive into that.
So, like I said, our honorable mentions pile is pretty big, and I could still go through my shelf here and pick out more, because it's just, like he said, Talladega Nights, the spark went off in my head. I said, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Matt's a big Kevin Smith guy, and that guy pretty much makes comedies, and Matt could pick any of those. It's very...
I can't, but Kevin Smith's an acquired taste.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'll leave it at that.
But he did make Clerks too, which is...
in our honorable mentions. So
oh, that is?
That's a good segue. So one of them is Clerks 2. I remember seeing this in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
Watching the hell out of this.
Oh.
I think my first Kevin Smith was Jay and Silent Bob. So Jay and Silent Bob was kind of what got me into Kevin Smith, and then I dove deeper into his catalog, and I've seen them all, and I like most of them.
That's the first movie I ever saw Rosario Dawson in, too.
Yeah, I think me too. Yeah, this is an incredible movie. This definitely have to check it out.
Definitely.
Here's another one about early Blu-rays, and this is actually an amazing looking Blu-ray.
It really is.
Probably just because of the setting. They're in Hawaii, so you got the nice blue water and then the bright resort and all that. But forgetting Sarah Marshall, this movie is so funny. And not Seth Rogen.
No, Jason Segel.
What? No, Jonah Hill.
Oh, Jonah Hill's funny in this.
Jonah Hill in this movie kills me.
I just went from 6 to midnight. I would love to sell you drugs, but I'm at my place of employment right now.
He spills the wine, he comes running over at the club soda. I saw it from across the restaurant. He's such a big fan of Russell Brand's character.
Oh, yeah. Take my eyes, but not the
my shirt. Infant Sorrow, he's doing the dance inside of you. Oh my god, it's just... This movie is hysterical. Mila Kunis is amazing in this movie.
Jason Segel, I love his performance of Dracula at the end.
Yeah.
No.
This is a classic. This is from like the mid 2000s.
I believe 2008, but I could be wrong on that. And
somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I remember watching this at your dad's apartment.
Oh yeah, I've seen this movie 100 times. I love this.
And that's that Blu-ray from all those years ago.
Oh yeah.
And what's the next one up?
Next one up is Wedding Crashers. Now, I didn't even open this one yet because I've seen it so many times. I just picked it up for $6 apparently. And Wedding Crashers comes up.
I mean, it's Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. My favorite scene is the Vince Vaughn scene in the middle where first he gets raped by his girlfriend, I guess.
I have no bodily fluids left.
Yeah, and then her brother walks in and and then he comes in the next morning and Owen Wilson's like, "What's wrong with you, big guy? What's wrong with me? What are you referring to? Are you referring to the 12 o'clock rape or the 4 o'clock gay art show?" And then he walks over and makes his breakfast, and then he's like, I'm upset with you right now.
I love Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And he's never always, some movies are not even the lead, like Old School, just the lines he has in Old School make me laugh hysterical. Wedding Crashers, him and Owen Wilson, this is an amazing team. They are hysterical. This is a fantastic movie, must see for any fan of comedy.
Oh, yeah.
And next up...
Big one for me and him.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know about this one, and I don't know why, but Strange Wilderness. This movie is so fucking funny.
A Happy Madison film.
Oh my god. I remember watching it at your house when we were kids, rewinding this one part with the shark.
Oh my god, because he just... And then the facts he rambles out. Sharks are only found in 2 parts of the world. The northern and southern hemisphere.
The whole world.
And then the one guy, Justin Long, smoking pot and blowing into the scammer's view. And he's like, "We got some fog rolling in." That's not fog.
So basically, a long story short, just because a lot of people don't know about this, his father owned a nature show, and the TV station wanted to cancel it. So they're on the hunt for Bigfoot to try to raise money to save the show. So they go on this crazy adventure on a hunt for Bigfoot. they end up killing Bigfoot and staging a suicide. And it's just... He's got bullet holes in him and he's hanging in the cave. Oh my god, this movie is hysterical.
And there's another Happy Madison film we couldn't put in here because we don't have a Blu-ray of it, and that is Grandma's Boy, which is another classic that we quoted.
Which a lot of the Happy, if you're familiar with Happy Madison, a lot of those casts, they overlap, and there's no shortage here. Yeah. This movie is must see. Next up, Super Troopers.
Oh, that's a classic.
This is a classic. I mean, it didn't make my top 5, but this is, again, a very quotable movie. Littering Ann, smoking the reef. This is a classic. The sequel, honestly, really wasn't too bad. It's not the original, but this is a great movie, and definitely
check that one out. Yeah. And then one with 2 sequels, which I think are actually as good as the first one, in my opinion.
The original, but the Friday series, which Friday After Next is the 3rd one, and that does not have a Blu-ray.
No, it doesn't, which is strange, because that one's really funny, too.
Yeah, that was the one with Cat Williams and the
Santa robs them.
Yeah, but I mean, as a kid, I liked Next Friday more, but as I get older, I think I like Friday more, because I love Chris Tucker. I think Chris Tucker is hysterical, and Smokey is a great character. But Mike Epps did a great job as Dede in Next Friday, and this is my type of comedy. I love these Friday movies.
Oh, the Friday movies are awesome.
Ice Cube is awesome. I love Ice Cube in pretty much every movie he made.
Oh yeah, and he's great in comedies. Like, I mean, he shows up in the 21 Jump Streets movies.
Yeah, those are great movies. Yep.
Yeah.
Fist Fight.
Fist Fight with Charlie Day.
That was good.
Yeah, no, he's a great comedian, and who would have thought the guy from NWA would be really funny? His son's awesome too, O'Shea Jackson Jr. He just showed up on Star Wars.
So those were our honorable mentions. I'm sure I could pick out 100 more off my shelf, and I'm sure we forgot a bunch. But, I mean, how long are we going to make this video?
Yeah.
But let's get to our number 1.
Alright, what's your number 1, Matt?
Alright, again, playing fast and loose with the rules. This is a double pack, but my number 1 comedy of all time is probably Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. No, I'm sorry, not When Nature Calls. Pet Detective. Nature Calls. As a kid, I enjoyed way more.
I still think When Nature Calls is funnier.
Maybe you...
It's tough. I think the first one has a better plot. The second one's the plot, you can just throw it out. Just the lines.
Yeah. They're both of Ace... Jim Carrey. This and then Dumb and Dumber, those are his best movies of all time, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the best comedies of all time, in my opinion.
We did a video on this channel for Jim Carrey's 94 because it was Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber in 1 year.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I could put one of those. I could watch all 3 of those every day of my life, and I'd probably be smiling still.
Yeah, oh yeah. Ace Ventura. Jim Carrey is just, he's a comedic god, and he just way over the top, overacting, and it's hysterical.
Oh, it works for him. That's his thing.
Yeah,
That's his lane. Yeah. And he nails it perfectly in Ace Ventura, which leads me to my number 1, which is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, this has been my favorite comedy and one of my favorite movies of all time, my entire life. I quote this movie probably every day. And I love this movie. Like, there's just not a day that goes by. I mean, today, when we were trying to think of a name of something, I go Simmy, Sammy,
Slippy, Slappy,
Swanson?
Samsonite.
Maybe it's on the briefcase. Oh, there it is. Samsonite. I was way off. You know, it's Jim Carrey at his peak, and, you know, that ridiculous haircut with the chipped tooth.
Lloyd Christmas. Fell off the jetway again.
And I'll have somebody at work drive by me, and they'll be like, you know, this is my real job, you know. Oh, no? No. I got worms. Fell off the jetway again. Like, these are just endlessly quotable movies, and, you know, this is, what can I say more about Dumb and Dumber? I love Dumb and Dumber, I will. And this is the same thing, very bare bones Blu-ray. Silver, recyclable case. It's a shame that some of these comedies really have never gotten anything more than this. I hope we get a 4K of this one day. This is one that, even though it's a comedy, I would grab it.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorites ever. I would love a collector's edition of this. But anyway, that is our top 10 comedies and their Blu-rays. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to give us some recommendations for more lists, please make sure you comment in the comment section below, and like, share, and subscribe, and you tell all your friends. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I appreciate that very much, and I know it's Friday, and that means we have to get into our digital code giveaway questions. Just like any other week, we're going to ask you guys 2 questions. You don't have to answer them both, you only have to answer one, and you're automatically entered into our digital code giveaway. So, question number 1 is going to be, what is your favorite 80s comedy? And then question number 2 will be, what is your favorite 90s comedy? You only got to answer one of those, but feel free to answer them both. I'm not going to stop you. This week we still have 30 codes up for grabs. I think we're going to give away 2 this week, just like we did the last couple weeks. This will probably be the last time we give away 2 digital codes, but the Untouchables is off the board now, and we lost 1 copy of the Batman. Those were the codes that last week's winners picked, but we still have another copy of Batman, and we are going to be adding Stuber into the mix to replace the Untouchables. So you have your choice, as always, of one of these 30 digital codes. Whatever one you want, if you are the lucky winner, make sure you come back to Monday's video where we will be reviewing Obi-Wan Episode 6, and we'll be spinning that wheel to give away some digital codes. So guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video. Your support means the world to us, so please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and you tell all your friends.